Okay, good morning or good afternoon, everyone. It is September 2nd, 2025. Welcome to our 2 o'clock Commissioner Consent Agenda meeting. Let the record reflect that we did receive no written comment for items on today's agenda, and we will go ahead and start with the pledge. Oh, and before we do that, let the record reflect that we do have all 5 commissioners are present. Commissioner French is on Zoom, but all the rest of us are here in the dais. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That will then take us to our open public forum, and I will go ahead and get started with Becky Duckerhoof.
Becky Duckerhoof, Spokane City. I'm here today to ask the County Commissioners to enact what is commonly referred to as the 1590 tax. This ordinance, which amended RCW 82.14.530, allows the county legislative authority to impose a sales and use tax not to exceed 0.1% of the selling price in the case of a sales tax or value of the article used in case of a use tax. This will allow the county to create more homes for the unsheltered. At least 60% of that money must be used for the construction of housing and related services. The balance must be used for the operation, delivery, or services related to housing. From Spokane Trends. In Spokane County, the median home resale price for the second quarter of 2025 Q2 is $456,700. The Housing Affordability Index for all buyers in Spokane County for 25 Q2 is 71.4, a drop of 114.8 points since the second quarter of 2015. Why is this important? The Housing Affordability Index, HAI, is calculated and maintained by the Washington Center for the Real Estate Research, WCRER, at the University of Washington. It measures the ability of a middle-income family to make mortgage payments on a median price resale home. WCRER assumes the following terms: a median price home of an area, a 20% down payment, a 30-year fixed mortgage, and the purchaser with a median household income for the area. Critical to the notion of affordability, a household does not spend more than 25% of its income on principal and interest payments. When the HAI is exactly 100, the household pays exactly 25% of its income to principal and interest. When index lies above 100, a household will spend less than 25% of its income on mortgage principal and interest. An HAI score of less than 100 indicates housing is not affordable at the assumed terms listed above. In Spokane County in the first quarter of 2025, 0.4 houses were available for under $250,000. 1.4 for between $250,000 and $499,000, and 3.7 for over $500,000. Compare that to the 12.3 houses below $250,000 in the state. This is the highest level seen in the state since 2018. The affordability index for first-time buyers has dropped by 57 points since 2015. The income required for a one-bedroom in Spokane County is $455,000. For a two-bedroom rental, it's $57,760, while the vacancy rate for those apartments is under 6%. Only available, affordable housing will solve homelessness. Thank you.
Thank you. That will take us next to Debbie Novak.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Debbie Novak from 9 Mile Falls, Washington. I'm also a member of the Washington Coalition for Police Accountability, and I'm the representative for the organization on this side of the state. I'm also the mother of David Novak. My concern and the reason I'm here today is to discuss and bring to your attention House Bill 2015. This was referred to as Ferguson's $100 million bill that passed this session in the legislature. It's actually quite a bit more money than that. If you were to look at the fiscal note, it's quite a bit of money. I'm very concerned because when I read this article here that the Spokane County Sheriff is turning down those funds, and he highlights that it's due to data collection issues. The data collection that House Bill 2015 asks for are things that are already in other laws and have been in place for quite a while. But I understand that 2015 put that there because we need that data in order to be able to respond to public safety issues. So that money can be used, for instance, the person that just spoke, it is to do co-response teams. That money can also be used for co-response teams. Let's see, what else can it be used? It can be used for hiring. It pays 75% of the cost to hire a person and to get them trained. I'm really concerned, and I hope that you all will look into this, that that money is being turned down. That is hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, that should be going to Spokane County for public safety issues. That's really a disservice to the residents of Spokane County. So it's House Bill 2015, and there's a lot of funds there that Spokane County should be checking into. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Matt Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. It's Matt Anderson. I am a citizen of the city and the county of Spokane. I understand this to be the time and place for the regular legislative session agenda. I believe this is time and place in which you'll begin discussing and setting agenda items. I rise on behalf of the current in Spokane County that cannot be timely heard by our Superior Court judges. I rise on behalf of their voice because over 1,000 of those cases have been pending at least for a year, and many of them at least 2 years. Each of the commissioners have been, including Mr. French, if he's with attendance, have been most generous with your time and listening to me. I'm not here to repeat any of that. You know what the agenda item is of my presence here, and it is to make sure that this record is clear that Spokane County, as it sat down to entertain its legislative agenda, made as a priority item a request to the legislature to approve 3 positions for Superior Court. We need them now. We're in a crisis stage, and if it's not addressed now, I don't know what answer you will give to the citizens, and particularly the 2,800 litigants who cannot get their case heard. I stand ready to answer any questions you might have at this time. Hearing none, I shall seat myself. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have just a few minutes more, so is there anyone else that would like to testify at the open public forum? Third and final call for anyone wishing to testify at the open public forum. Seeing no one online and no one else in the audience, I will close the open public forum. There was a request to take 4D separately, so then I will look to my fellow commissioners.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve items 3 and 4, including all sub-items with the exception of item 4D.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on any of those items? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimously. That will then take us to item number 4D.
Madam Chair, thanks for taking the items separately. This is in regards to the letter to the Spokane County Bar Association, and they had sent us a letter seeking approval and funding for 3 new Superior Court positions, and we've been working on this letter for a few weeks. This morning we got some information from our presiding Superior Court Judge Zamblin. In our letter, we talk about encouraging the court to bring about efficiencies, and we bring up some specific recommendations. And she stated this morning that some of those things have actually been implemented, And the other, so I guess I'm wondering if we could defer this for one more week to be able to make sure we're being accurate in the letter about the efficiencies that the court has put into place. The other piece I thought was missing from the letter was an acknowledgement that I believe Commissioner Jordan mentioned today, that it is the legislature's role to actually create the court positions. And so I think it would be good to add to the letter something around working with the legislature to consider adding those positions, because the state does fund part of just the judge, but they do fund part of the judge position. So I think there's a few things that we could add to the letter that shows our willingness to work with the court to make things better for our legal community and for those people who are seeking relief. Also, for recognizing that the state plays a role in approving those judges. And even if we can't fund with our funding challenges at the county right now, the next step would be having the state legislature actually approve the judge position. And then we could decide, you know, when and if we could be able to fund our portion of the position. So those are just a few things that, and I'm sorry that information came in from Judge Zamlin this morning. And so I'm hoping we could, I want to make a motion to defer for one more week so we could consider just including some of the correct information.
I guess I'll second the motion.
Okay, there is a motion and a second to defer 4D to one more week. I will have to open it up for public comment before we make any. If we're taking action. Okay, we can have discussion first before I call for the vote, but I still will have to open up for public.
Not to defer.
Not to defer. Okay, thank you, just checking. Okay. So is there other further comment?
I can just add,
Commissioner Jordan.
I second Commissioner Waldrop's motion and comments. I appreciate the board has already deferred this once. I do think, to Commissioner Waldrop's comments, adding in some openness on the legislative process and context there would be helpful. Making sure that all the information in terms of what the commissioners are asking of or suggesting of the court is kind of accurate and up to date based on Judge Zamblin's letter would be helpful. So I just agree that there's certainly plenty in the letter I agree with. I just think it could use a little work to make it complete. If the board is willing to continue to review this, I can certainly, respond to a deadline to get suggested comments in by whenever they need to be in. So that's a commitment I can make if the board's open to continue reviewing this.
Okay. Mr. Folsom, when did the letter first go out to the commissioners for review?
A number of weeks ago. It was on the legislative consent agenda last week, and we struck it and reset it for today. And I think it was probably in circulation for a week or two before that.
Okay.
So probably 3 weeks before last week.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification. So yes, we did defer a week. I mean, I think I will be willing to give one more week. But that is all that I know I will be willing to give. And we have to, in the future, when we know it's on the consent agenda, we all have to do our job to make sure that we're looking at it ahead of time and have all of our questions answered prior to it getting on the consent agenda. So I would ask that in the future of the commissioners. That's why I, last week gave one more week. Commissioner Waldrop, I know you were on vacation, but when we're all on vacation at different times, we still have to, be paying attention to the consent agenda. So I'll be willing to defer one more week. Any other comment?
I think we need to also, I'm not happy to defer this, but I will vote to do it. I think we also need to be cognizant of how this makes us look and our professionalism. We received that original resolution from the Bar Association on July 9th. Tomorrow marks 8 weeks since we received that resolution from the Bar Association. This continues to get kicked. We cannot let perfection be the enemy of the good here. I think the letter we have right now is certainly acceptable. I was going to hand deliver a draft of that letter to the president of the Bar Association 2 weeks ago if they would have been at the meeting that Mr. Anderson and I had. I mean, we were all totally fine with that draft being handed over 2 weeks ago, but now we need to make corrections to it. Again, 8 weeks tomorrow since we received that original resolution. So I think it's important that we are cognizant of the delays that this is causing in communication, and I don't think that bodes well on this body. But I will vote for 1 more week, and we'll be a day shy of 9 weeks when we adopt it next week.
I appreciate
Jordan.
the willingness. We'll work together as best we can. I'll just note that the court presiding judge sent us a message this morning with some pertinent facts, and it would reflect well on this body if our letter is accurate in response to the Bar Association. Thank you.
I'm just going to check. I see. Commissioner French, do you have your hand up? Oh, no, that was just the cursor. Sorry. Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, so I'll call for no, I have to open up for public comment. No, I don't, since we're deferring. We're just deferring for a week. So we'll defer item 4D for 1 week as the motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Commissioner French, okay.
I was an aye.
Okay, thank you. So this will be on next week's agenda. So motion passes unanimously. Is there anything else to come before the board today, Mr. Simmons or Mr. Folsom?
I have nothing further, Commissioner.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Very good. Then thank you all very much. I will adjourn the meeting for today, and we will sign.